Ronald Reagan left office in 1989 after spending his presidency consistently fighting against socialism and communism. Having seen too much socialist influence in Hollywood when he was in charge of SAG, this experience drove him to pursue the presidency to combat it directly on a geopolitical level, as well as set us up for future financial success. When he left office in 1989, all we had to do was maintain the momentum. Instead, the focus was shifted. The boomers and early-stage Gen Xers focused solely on personal financial gain. The so-called Great 90s generation financially and morally bankrupted us for their own greed. They also sold our entire future overseas. People like Les Wexner, the creator of Victoria's Secret, Abercrombie & Fitch, and Aeropostale, mailed catalogs every single month to push endless shopping. They offered young, financially inexperienced people mall credit cards with high interest rates, massively inflating consumer debt. Les Wexner had Jeffrey Epstein living in the backup mansion directly behind his own, where Epstein molested young women. Irresponsible people like Bill Gates invented the internet and released it without any regulation or concern for how it would affect us mentally, emotionally, or morally. Internet porn was invented, and again, released without any regulation or concern for its mental, emotional, or moral impact. Irresponsible people like Steve Jobs invented smartphones and released them into the world with no concern for how they would affect us mentally, emotionally, or morally. Boomers and early-stage Gen Xers let Pandora after Pandora out of the box. The Christian televangelist pyramid scheme took off, with families expected to pay 10% of their income every time they attended church. Famous pastors like Robert Tilton and Benny Hinn, for example, drove Ferraris and Lamborghinis and lived in homes with 3-car garages and in-ground pools, while families who could barely afford groceries still gave 10% of their earnings to the church. Both were eventually exposed for committing fraud and had to apologize to their congregations. Every Hollywood buddy cop movie, from Die Hard to Lethal Weapon, was about corrupt cops portrayed as hungover deadbeats who kill like mass murderers, drop an F-bomb every 5 seconds, and sexually exploit every female actress that appears in their films. Stallone and Schwarzenegger competed to see how many people they could kill in each film. Then there are all the listed scandals, along with the people who were victimized by the president of the 1990s, the Clintons. Here are 24 scandals, mysterious deaths, or claims of assault connected to the Clintons. 1. 28 flights with Jeffrey Epstein. 2. Whitewater scandal. 3. Rose Law Firm, billing records. 4. Clinton Foundation, pay-to-play allegations. 5. Uranium One. 6. Haiti earthquake relief scandal. 7. Monica Lewinsky affair. 8. Paula Jones. 9. Juanita Broderick. 10. Kathleen Willey. 11. Jennifer Flowers. 12. Hillary Clinton email scandal. 13. Benghazi attack. 14. Clinton Foundation and Russia. 15. Vince Foster. 16. Seth Rich. 17. Ron Brown. 18. Mary Mahoney. 19. James McDougal. 20. Ed Willie. 21. Project Veritas expose. 2019. 22. Travelgate. 23. Filegate. 24. Chinagate. The so-called Great 90s generation financially and morally bankrupted us for their own greed. They also sold our entire future overseas. The boomers have been saying the state of the country is my fault since I was 18. At 43, I've only just reached an age, along with the rest of my generation, where we can actually influence politics. Just one example of so many where boomers and Gen Xers refuse to hold themselves accountable, yet never stop complaining about everyone they raised and supposedly mentored. This is the generation that said things like, do as I say, not as I do, and what they don't know won't hurt them. The state of our country has more to do with a generation that has ruled with an iron fist for 35 years than it does with being Republican or Democrat. Where is the accountability? The current administration has passed power to a generation 35 years its junior, Vance, Tulsi, Hegseth, Bongino, Patel, etc., and is turning the geofinancial clock back 35 years. Capitalist Democrats won't give you the definitional socialism they're promising. They'll just use socialism as a tool to increase the divide between the haves and the have-nots, and further cement their power, just like it has always been used in the past. A constitutional democratic republic with capitalism is still our best option. It isn't perfect, no form of government is, but at least under a constitutional democratic republic, powered by capitalism, if you decide to get motivated, come up with an idea, work hard, save, and invest, you can rise above your current conditions. We don't have to completely replace our current political system. We just have to repair it.